like any other player, you factor in every variable. I think, one thing that, when you're talking about those types of decisions, I think it's important to recognize that we have a congruence of interest by the Dolphins and the player, Tua, that we both want, both parties really want him to play at a very high level for a long time for the Miami Dolphins. We'd probably be best served to utilize the time. That's kind of the way we're approaching it, but that doesn't mean that we're spending any long period of time not discussing it. This is something that Chris and I have been working through and will continue to work through.
That's Mike McDaniel yesterday at the podium after he visited with us here.
Yeah.
Talking about Tua Tagovailoa and the options. And I laid out the 3 options for Mike McDaniel yesterday.
Yeah.
1, long-term contract for Tua Tagovailoa. 2, pick up the 5th-year option. 3, do the Daniel Jones route, don't pick up the option, finish the contract this year. And then he added 4th option, he'll go on Dancing with the Stars. Which was funny, but it was evasive too.
Yes.
And look, the bottom line is they haven't decided yet, and I think a lot of it depends upon what Tua wants. And at some level, they have to be confident that he's going to be able to keep himself healthy. Now, Chris Greer, the GM of the team, said today that they're not going to shy away from signing him because of health concerns. But still, the magnitude of what you're willing to do by way of compensation has to be tied to how confident you are that he's going to play. Or part of the money has to be tied to how many games you play.
Right.
Major per-game roster bonuses, major playing time incentives. Pay him based upon how much he plays. Create a financial incentive for him to keep himself healthy, so he's less reckless with his body, either gets rid of the ball or hits the ground in a way that doesn't result in his head striking the turf.
Yeah.
Those are all very important considerations in whatever contract they structure.
100%, and I don't think we're even there yet to be going contract of anything like that yet. I don't. I mean, again, we had a really good year this year, did really good things, had an all-star cast around him on the offensive side of the ball, but we're just a year removed of a guy that wasn't doing good things, was careless with the football, even injured in those years, admitted that he didn't work hard enough and prepare the way he should, right? So now we're just going to go, hey, 5th-year option, definitely, and we're going to give him a huge contract. What? No way. There's no way. I wouldn't do that if I was running the football team. And it's always like we talk about, too. There's something to the grass is pretty green where you are. They want to go in on you anyways. They kind of believe in you and your talents here. Is there somebody else out there that does that, let alone has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and some of these things that really fit your type of play?
That's the thing. When you see what Mike McDaniel did with Tua Tagovailoa, there are other quarterbacks that he could do special things with. He knows how to coach guys up and get the most out of their abilities. So when McDaniel says we're best served to utilize the time we have until the deadline, and it's early May 3, I think, other options may materialize between now and then. There could be free agents who are available that they may be interested in. Maybe a guy who is cheaper than they thought he was going to be. Maybe a guy who's available in trade in Aaron Rodgers. Maybe the Ravens apply the non-exclusive franchise tag to Lamar Jackson, and then the day after the draft, that's when the Dolphins could sign him to an offer sheet and give up 2 first-round picks, because even though they don't have a 2023 first-round pick, it's your next 2. So after the 23 draft, you can sign him and you give up 24 and 25. And those are all factors as well. So, look, there's
he did a great job, but I would hesitate. I think that's what we're both saying.
There's reason to wait.
Yes.
There's reason to be concerned about his health.
That's
not
power.
an indictment of the player.
Right.
It's an indictment of the circumstance.
Yeah.
And when you have your head hit the ground 3 times and you have at least 2 concussions, maybe a third, there's reason to be cautious about making a major financial investment. All the Dolphins fans out there should want them to do it this way. They should want them to explore their options. They should want them to be cautious. They don't, you don't want to go to a playoff game with your 3rd-string quarterback again. You don't want to do that.
No, you definitely don't. And I don't think there's anything wrong here. Well, we talked about Aaron Rodgers. He has all the power in that situation. This is a situation where I look at and go, no, the team has the power in this situation. And they don't have to just crumble and, go to the to-anon or the fan base's demands or any of that. Again, it was a really damn good year, and he did some special things. But, man, as a special cast he has around him. I'd want to evaluate it a little bit more to go, wait, hey, let's see this year when teams study the Dolphins, get a better feel for how they attacked, and then some of those things that were so easy or not so easy, how does he adjust and play to that, let alone to like what you're talking about, Mike. The health thing is a real thing. You got to make sure he can do that if you're going to really throw out big money to him for the future.
Well, let's flip it around. Let's say that he were an unrestricted free agent March 15 of this year.
Yeah, that's a good way.
What in the world would the offer even begin to be? What would a team do? And I think it would be almost like a Drew Brees offer from 17 years ago when the Saints paid him a certain amount for the first year, and then there was a balloon payment after 1 year that was contingent on whether or not the shoulder was healthy. With Tua, okay, fine, you make a lot of money your first year, a fair amount, and then the big payment comes after 1 year, and we need to see that you can be healthy. We need to see that you can get it done. So I don't think there'd be a massive crush for a team to go out and sign Tua if he were free right now, and that should tell you everything you need to know about what the Dolphins are going to do. Patience makes sense.
Yes.
And if I had to pick one of the three choices right now, I'd say do what the Giants did with Daniel Jones, and let's see what happens.
Exactly
in
right.
2023.
I think there's a lot of similarities there. Exactly right. You know, you got a team and a group of people around you that do believe in you. So you're, as a quarterback, you're not just going to throw that aside just to go, well, I can get $4 million more from this team, right? Okay, yeah, you might get $4 million more from that team, but you're not going to have the success. Everybody's going to question you, what the hell you're doing, why aren't you playing good, all of that. You know, he's in a very good spot right now. He definitely is. And
when he's healthy, he's really good.
He did some really good things this year.
But the cliche, and one of the reasons it's cliche is because it's true. The best ability is availability.
Right.
You got to be able to play. We take it for granted that quarterbacks, most of them, the great ones, they're there every week. They find a way to keep playing. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, with a concussion, you just can't.
Yeah.
So you have to avoid it.
You got to
get rid of the ball. You got to hit the ground the right way. You got to study the way guys like Russell Wilson and Drew Brees, smaller guys, where the physics aren't on your side, they absorb the hit and they hit the ground in a way that doesn't result in their head striking the turf. Period.
Definitely. I would slow play it. Here's the other thing I would say to this: slow play it, evaluate more, continue to get more answers with the concussion and all that. Sign a durable backup.
Yes.
You know, you can't have a guy that's got durability issues backed up by a guy that's got durability issues. I'm sorry. I got a lot of respect for Teddy Bridgewater and things he's done here, but you and I both know he's been hurt a lot. Gets hurt a lot. And you can't have that guy backing up a guy like Tua who also gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, you're right. And that's how you get down to your third-string quarterback for a playoff game.
Right.
So I think it's a given Teddy Bridgewater won't be back. You do need an ultra-durable backup and an alternative. Somebody who can come in and win games, and it's an attractive spot. If you're a guy that is kind of floating around at that backup level, you know, like a Mitch Trubisky, the Steelers may trade him. I think the Dolphins should be interested in something like that. Just a guy that you can count on to come in,
I hear you,
get the job done in the event that Tua gets injured. And it's attractive to the backup because you make the bet that Tua possibly will get injured, and so you'll be ready to go. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.